The Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct is in the books, and boy did it give us a glorious look at the next generation of Pokemon. But while we were entranced by Wooloo and his mighty sheep magic, there were some things that went under the radar. In fact, some things that weren't a part of the Direct at all. So today, we're bringing you 10 Pokemon Sword and Shield secrets that you probably didn't know.
Zach, please enlighten me. I want to know all your secrets. Stop keeping things from me. And this is a bunch of cool new information that we didn't see in the Direct. I'm kind of surprised that it did make it.
Yeah, some of these are pretty big deals, and some of them are very clarifying, very illuminating, very enlightening. So we're going to begin with number 1, that you need 4 trainers to fight in these max raid battles, and if 3 other trainers aren't available to participate, the game will autofill support trainers so that you have a full squad to fight the giant Pokemon.
That means that you are going to have AI partners if there is no one around to accompany you on these raids. That's super interesting, and I can't believe that it was just not mentioned in the Direct at all. How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like it may allow for max raid battles to occur even if you do not have an online connection, which I think is really nice. So you're not cut out from that part of the game if, say, you're on a road trip or say you're just in a place that doesn't have a great signal. So I like that a lot. Plus, this allows for you to play with just one friend and the game will autofill to others in case you don't have a full group. So I think it's a really smart and really beneficial addition.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, next up, let's talk about wandering Pokemon. Pokemon in the field. Now, we saw them in the wild areas in the Direct, but we now know that they also will occur and exist outside of the wild area. Battles with wild Pokemon in tall grass or caves will occur when players run into Pokemon that they can see wandering around. So this lets us know and reveals that there will be those cute characters on screen even in the smaller areas inside of caves and in tall grass. They also note that the exclamation mark will appear above tall grass as an indicator of wild Pokemon hiding there. So it basically is now boiling down to the perfect mix, I feel, of Pokemon Let's Go and the stylings there of how you ran into Pokemon and the tried and true format of how you encounter random Pokemon.
Yeah, this does bring in a little bit of the best of both worlds here. I can't imagine anyone not being happy with this. We wanted to see Pokemon out in the wild. We want to encounter brand new Pokemon that we've never seen before, so we can just run at them as fast as we can just to be able to catch them. I love this. I love that they're going this way.
Yeah, it's definitely very neat, and I hope that it is realized as like the best iteration of experiencing Pokemon. We loved it so much in Let's Go. This brings a little bit of both. It's going to be great. Number 3 is an interesting one, and they kind of alluded to this, I feel, with the open air Pokemon gym, but the website notes that you can only Dynamax your Pokemon in specific locations of the Galar region, like in the stadiums at Pokemon gyms. So it's not something that can be done all over.
That would be weird, right? Let's say you're in a very confined structure, or even in a cave that's just not that big. You can't just go Dynamax and have the whole cave fall down on you, Zach. That wouldn't be very good.
Well, that'd be disastrous. You're inside you'll go inside a mansion or inside
Sure.
a research facility, and you're just like, dude, I'm so sick of this research facility. Let's bring the house down. It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's just a funny visual.
I'll be very curious to see what areas this is allowed in. Obviously, we've seen it out in the wild area because of the raid battles and inside of the stadiums, but where else can you Dynamax and where else will it be available? It creates such cool cinematic battles. I hope there are at least enough instances of these.
Yeah.
Let's move to number 4. It's a small one, but one to point out, which is that you need a Dynamax band in order to Dynamax. So it obviously is a very important part of the games. And it's something that the professor is really invested into researching. But it says a special item known as the Dynamax Band is the product of such research, and only trainers who possess a Dynamax Band are able to Dynamax their Pokemon.
Dynamax Band sounds like a band from the 80s that played all these awesome songs, and then they just got super voided out one day because they took too much Dynamax.
Yeah, or Dynamax is like a band that you put on your wrist. It's like, it does nothing, but we promise it makes you stronger. Those power bands are oh yeah, tap into the elements of the earth.
You remember, it was like a basketball ones. They had these Jordan and Nike ones that supposedly made you shoot better.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. if you say so. All right, number 5 is a little bit of info about the Rotom phone and how it enhances your bike. So it is going to be more beneficial than just a Pokedex. It says it can attach onto a bike to make it move faster on land or even travel over water once the bike is modified. So we saw this in the Direct where the bike was skimming across the surface of a body of water, and now we know that it is thanks to the Rotom phone and an upgrade that makes that all possible.
Yeah, I mean, that is a really cool thing, because I don't know why they would call it a Rotom phone if it was just a Pokedex, so it's good that it has other use to it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a bigger deal here in Sword and Shield. Number 6 is the reveal of a new ability. So we know that our beloved Gossifleur and the slightly less beloved Eldegoss have the ability Cotton Down, and that's a new ability in the games, and we found via the press release that when a Pokemon with Cotton Down is hit by an attack, it will send out Cotton Fluff that will lower the speed stat of the other Pokemon in the battle.
I want to see way more abilities. Hopefully there is a good number of them added. That's a good one, right? It's like, I got to use this on you at E3. You walk way too fast.
We always run into this issue. Yeah. And it shouldn't be an issue by this point, Gabe. I've trained you for 7 years to do this.
Someone's not a very good trainer.
Wow. Number 7 is that Dynamax moves are modified. So we know that the moveset is just based on the moves that they already have, but some trigger additional effects. The example we found is that the normal type max move Max Strike has the additional effect of lowering the speed stat of an opponent it hits.
This can make these Dynamax battles very, very interesting, because there could be any number of weird changes to moves based on whoever you happen to be fighting. Maybe some extra like burn damage if you're fighting against a fire type Pokemon that's just using a regular attack that isn't necessarily a fire attack, and it could still burn you, stuff like that. There's almost like infinite possibilities there. I wonder how far they take that.
Yes, indeed. We'll move along to number 8, which is that the wild area seems like a single wild area. It says that it is full of nature and connects several different towns and cities. And if you take a look at the Galar region map, you'll see that it's structured in such a way that there is a massive natural expanse in the center of the map that then spawns off into different cities and areas that fill out more of the perimeter. So I really feel like the wild area is going to be just an area, and that you will be able to access a whole slew of cities and towns from that space. Now, it'll be TBD if you can access them in any order you see fit or how that works out. But I think it's interesting that we will have this big middle space, and perhaps the wild area is even larger than it seems in the trailer.
Yeah, that's a good catch there, Zach. It kind of like branches out completely. It's kind of like the center of like a spider web, and it all just like goes in different directions. I'm assuming that there's going to be a wholly different areas of the wild area, although it is like probably one big area. There's still like snow filled areas, and we saw like that desert looking place, so I think there's still gonna be some good variety to the wild area though.
Yes, indeed. All right, number 9 is that there was a bunch of new and very specific Pokemon details posted. Now, we made a full video discussing every bit of new info on all the Gen 8ers, but I'll call out a few that I found interesting here. One is that Gossifleur actually uses its pollen to make tea for children in the Galar region when they're sick. And then Sobble is over here crying so much and spreading its tears, causing everyone around to start crying uncontrollably, which is, not the nicest, but hey, he's just a timid little guy. And then Scorbunny happens to have a sack of viscous fire energy in its chest that it can use to help increase its heart rate and body temperature as it runs around.
Please don't run around and focus fire on me, please.
No, I won't. I feel like you need to have more of the Sobble effect, right? We cry and help you emote. All right, so we got that. Number 10, and our final feature of the day, is maybe you can play online with friends. It seems like the text is a bit clearer than the direct led on, and the specific quote I'm referring to is, "Max Raid battles can become even more fun when the player connects with friends to battle together via Nintendo Switch Online." Now, the video called out local wireless play, but this seems to lean much more towards true online with friends being possible no matter where you're located.
I really hope this happens. I mean, hypothetically, you, me, Jake, and a secret other person could just go on one of these raids and do our thing without having to not know what whatever stranger I happen to be connected to online is doing. I feel like this is very important to strategize and to, have whichever one is gonna go Dynamax do it, because like, how do you even decide at that point if you're only playing with strangers without some type of communication? So this is really important, and I hope that they do it. Come on, Nintendo, this is a very baseline. This should be a feature. Make it happen.
You got a chance to recover from that Super Mario Maker 2 madness, and we sure hope they will. All right, those are 10 cool secrets that were not featured in the Direct that you probably did not know. Let us know which one is your favorite, and if you found any other interesting details that maybe we missed. Give us your take down in those comments. Make sure that like button if you enjoyed the video and are pumped for Pokemon Sword and Shield like we are. Can't wait for E3, where hopefully more will be revealed and more of that Gen 8 lineup. We'll have you covered as soon as it happens. Until then, though, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic day. For myself and Gabe, Switch Force out.